Shaw here. Today I've got the honor to speak to a good friend of mine, Saul Mulroney. He's an upcoming star in the internet marketing niche. I've been wanting to chat with him about it for a long time, and I'm really happy that he's given me the time and the opportunity to do this today. So thank you very much, Saul.
Hi, Ras. Good to speak to you. And yeah, it's my pleasure. We're both in Johannesburg, and we are both on our way up in the internet marketing scene. And it's my pleasure to spend this time with you today.
Thanks very much. We've known each other for quite a long time, and I know that you've been very involved with the internet marketing niche, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps we can start. You can tell me a little bit how you actually started. I know you started a good couple of years back. What drew you into the internet marketing industry? How did you get started?
Sure. Okay, great. So in 2007, so that's 7 years ago, I was on a list of the great guy called Dr. Joe Vitale. Dr. Joe Vitale is regarded as one of the best copywriters in the world, and he writes a lot about hypnosis and self-help. And I was on his list somehow. I don't know how exactly, but I got onto his list. And at that time, he launched a book called The Attractor Factor. Now, The Attractor Factor was originally called Spiritual Marketing, and then it got renamed to The Attractor Factor, and it went to #1, and it's all about using the law of attraction in your mind in a business sense. Now, what's important to understand is that he wrote this book long before The Secret came out, and Rhonda Byrne, who actually wrote The Secret and produced The Secret, she read his book and she included him in the movie The Secret. But long before the movie The Secret came out, I read the book, and I was very impressed with it, and I was going through quite a bit of turbulence in my own life, and I read it, and in it he talked about, achieving what you want, but he also talked about internet marketing, and then shortly after that, being on his list, he mentioned that he was having a seminar in Austin, Texas. So, I really decided that I wanted to go and visit with him and meet him, and I'd heard about internet marketing from guys like Corey Rudel years before, but I'd never really taken any action with it. So anyway, I saved up money and I went to Austin, Texas, and I went to the seminar, and as I do, I sat in the front row and I got to know Joe, and he gave me a few minutes of his time, and then I created my first hypnosis product. So that was in 2007. Since then, I went on to create 8 hypnosis products. I've sold over 8,500 copies to people in over 30 countries, and it's been a real trip. I've kept on going to see Joe every year. He's one of my guys that I look up to, and through him I met chaps like Marlon Sanders and a lot of great guys that are doing very well in the market. So I remained in the hypnosis market. I really enjoyed it. And then about a year and a half ago, I started looking at stuff like JV Zoo and the Warrior Forum, mainly to find stuff to improve my websites and to improve my sales. I was looking for example, a squeeze page generator, or looking for a countdown sort of tool. And then I came across the Warrior Forum and the JV Zoo, and it really excited me what I saw there. So in about July last year, so it's under you, about July last year, I made the move into internet marketing IM space as well. So I still do the hypnosis stuff, and I've actually got a new product coming out quite soon with that. That's still going tremendously well. There's a lot of people on my list there, and I help a lot of people there every day. But I saw that the internet marketing space is actually really exciting. It's very dynamic. There's a lot more JVing, there's a lot more joint venturing going on. There's a lot of products being released all the time. I mean, in the hypnosis, it's unheard of to give 100%, for example, to affiliates. So I saw that this is a great space, and I wanted to get involved with it. So I came into the space about July last year, and I spent a month looking for a coach because I wanted to do it properly and go full-time and really just make a huge impact. When I put myself into something, I go 100%. That's the way I do things.
Yeah.
So I searched and searched and searched and searched and bought and searched, and I found a coach that I believe is the best coach in the marketplace. So I found and I invested in the coaching program, and I was looking for a coach that I liked his style, and I liked that there would be a continuity program going forward. So now, yeah, I mean, it's been a great trip. Russell. You know, I've had 2 WSOs of the day in a row now. I've had 8 products launched. I've got a nice buyers list. I've got a nice general list, and things are going very well. So it's been really a great ride in a few months that I'm in a space, and it's like really dynamic. I'm learning every single day and growing every single day.
Perhaps you know, you say you started with a coach or joint ventures about 7 months ago. Perhaps you want to take us through a little bit about the learning curve, the learning process that just on that part of your journey, because to be successful in something like this is obviously a process that one has to follow. You have to form relationships with all the JVs. How did you sort of set yourself up to be successful at this?
Well, as I said, I joined a coaching program with a guy that I see who's doing the best in this space as a coach. And I was also looking for a coaching program which would be attached to other affiliates. So built in there would come affiliates, and I would get to know guys. And yeah, look, I went into the coaching program. I learned all the training that was in there, and then I really just got stuck in 100%. Like, it's, you know, there's a group of guys, like any community in any forum that you're part of. The more you give, the more you get. So even when I wasn't able to mail for people right at the beginning, I was still like offering to give testimonials and offering video testimonials without even being asked, or help, you know, offering to help people with proofreading, or
right.
I don't do graphics, but I could really add in many ways. So that's what I was doing. And then immediately, yes, I started like just seeing what guys were doing. Like, I started seeing the Facebook groups that people were involved in, and I started to get involved. And yeah, so like I just took action, really, Russell. I bought a lot of products. I fell into, in the first like month or two, I definitely fell into the trap that like a newbie's nightmare sort of trap, that where people buy and buy and buy and don't earn. But I decided to earn while I learned. So I started just putting stuff out there. And look, I must say, luckily, because I had success in the internet marketing career before I realized right from the beginning that it takes relationships, and it takes being real and genuine. And, you know, it's also a lot about etiquette in terms of the way that you deal with people. But, you know, what's one of the most amazing things as part of my whole internet marketing career journey from the beginning is that going to like Texas and I went all like to different places in America for conferences. What always struck me is that when they saw a South African like myself coming, first of all, I was usually the only South African there. Second of all, they loved my accent. And just by getting out of my skin and being friendly, I really got a lot of attention, which was always quite amazing, and it was quite refreshing because, you know, in South Africa, I would just be a normal another guy, but in these sort of conferences, it made me quite unique. Also, look, I mean, I've gone through a divorce I got divorced about 5 years ago, and, you know, my kids actually moved away with their mom and her new husband to Cape Town, which is a city 2 hours away from me, as you know, about under 3 years ago. So my goal is to move to Cape Town as well at the moment, and that's what I am working for. And at the same time, I have been through like a lot of emotional pain, as you know. I mean, you are a friend of mine, and you know that I've been through a lot of emotional pain. So the way that I really dealt with it is I've thrown myself into work, you know, like I've thrown myself into achieving, and I still do stuff outside of it. I read a lot of fiction and non-fiction. I go to gym, I do running, but, you know, I haven't been dating in a while, and I've been really just been working. So I've been buying WSOs and I've been buying products, but I have read and studied all of them, Russell, studied them. And as I said, I've been taking this very seriously. And like, you know, my WSO the day that I got, which was Tube Ranking Control, was I saw, for example, in like August last year, I bought a really awesome product on Google Plus and Hangouts, and I fell in love with Hangouts because I knew that it was going to be big. I mean, using this awesome platform, but you know, you've got to understand, I bought this course was about $197, so I invested in it. It was like a real Bible, and it was really awesome. But I studied it from like front to back, and I did all the exercises and I watched all the videos, and then, you know, it really allowed me to become very proficient at Google Hangouts. And, you know, for example, then with my WS of the day, I picked out like one part of it and mastered it, and they've got WSO of the day. And it's the same thing like with my latest WSO of the day, is that I really saw that Facebook advertising is going to be big, and I knew that retargeting is going to be big. So I got pretty good at it and created something around there. So look, I've also got to realize very quickly, and as I say, I have invested in a lot of courses, and I have gone through all the courses that I've invested in, is that there's a wonderful story from Dr. Joe Vitale, who we mentioned earlier. He actually was homeless in Dallas, and then he's become like a multi-millionaire because he pushed himself from nowhere. So what he taught me is two things. First of all, to work on my mind every day. So I do work on my mind. You know that I do meditate and I do exercise, and that helps me tremendously. And second of all, a wonderful thing that he said, Russell, said when he became a copywriter, he realized, like quite early on, he was like so happy to realize is that not many copywriters and not many people in the writing industry actually study. What he meant by that is that like not many people went and actually read like John Caples and Robert Collier and David Ogilvy and all the great old books that are still available. Most of them actually still are in print, and you can pick them up for like a couple of dollars even on eBay or Amazon. And he went and studied and studied and studied, and even when he was homeless, actually, he would go to the library. He often even slept in the library because he was homeless and he was so poor. But he had a goal in mind to become an author and to become a person who is very wealthy and in a position to give a lot of charity. He's actually got like a huge organization now in America which helps homeless people to get off the street. So that inspired me. So I did like similar stuff. Like I keep my mind strong, even though I have been through a lot of troubles. Like in my personal life, I had a marriage that disintegrated, and my kids moved away, which was I take responsibility for my part in that. But at the same time, like I really, me, I don't moan, and I will maybe allow myself 10 minutes of like moaning, but then I get back stuck into it. And when I'm learning, when I'm listening to audios, and when I'm watching videos, and when I'm buying and learning, like I feel like so energized and alive. So yes, to answer your question is that I've studied and I've worked tremendously hard. I've bought WSOs to see like the best ones, and I've like analyzed them, like what makes them good. And I've realized that people want that digestible information that is digestible, which means like it's not a massively hours and hours and hours to go through. And also like reputable vendors. That's what I look for. Look, the most important thing in internet marketing, and that's that's my tip to anyone that's listening. You probably know this already, but if you're not a people's person, or you're not even prepared to be a people's person and work on relationships, like it is actually really maybe better to go into like SEO or go into like Google advertising, where you don't have to deal with people. A lot of your success is going to be based on your speaking to people and reaching out and just being helpful and being nice, because it's a lot about affiliate driven. And what I mean by that, Russell, is that you got like I am ready to celebrating people's success as if it's my own success, and I'm also ready to help people when they're going through a hard time, because I know the importance of that. So if you can, what I always do is like when I get relationships and I'm developing relationships, even people like in our mastermind group, like you put in my mastermind group, or affiliates that I want to get to know, like I always try to get it offline as soon as possible. So I'll say like, how can we chat for Skype on 10 minutes? And even usually those 10 minutes can turn into an hour, and then you become friends with people, and that's what it's all about. Because even like the so-called gurus, they're just normal people, and like
Right.
my philosophy is I will never be like, I don't suck up to people, and I'm not scared of anyone, and like I'm just like, you can just treat people wonderfully. And so that has been my formula to success. So my formula to success in the short term, I've still got a long way to go, but it really has been just to take action and to be a great observer of what's going on, and to add value as much as I possibly can every single day.
Right. And I mean, in this type of business, it's very much almost like a learn, do, teach type of a progression. So, I mean, I see that you offering some coaching. So you are progressing sort of linearly through the learn, do, teach type of mentality that's prevalent within the internet marketers. What's your advice in terms of looking and finding the right coach for you, for the guys that are just sort of coming into this type of an industry?
Look, there's stepping stones for coaches. You get different levels. You get, and it's like the same thing like with an attorney. Like if you want to have an attorney and you have got a tax issue on your hand, or like obviously you should go for the most expensive attorney you can get. I mean, you should never base it on price. And there are different steps, the different levels of coaches out there. They're like the coaching program that are joined and that you are part of. That's a considerable amount of money to join, and that comes with more like of a continuity program attached to it. And so, firstly, I mean, as I say, like, choose a guy or choose a girl that's out in the market and that you like their style and they're getting like WSOs of the day continuously and that you like them, that you gel with. There are coaching programs where there's a big name behind it, but you may never get access to that person. You may get access to people that work underneath them. So, look, as I say, the bottom line is that go for the best coaching that money can afford, that you can afford, but make sure that it is one where, like, that guy's prevalently active in the market, and again, that like there's a community involved. Look, you do have models, and it's not for me to poke a hole in them, but it's what I looked at. And to answer your question, I don't like the idea of paying, like, say, 6 months coaching with someone. Personally, I don't like that, and then it ends there on your own. I would rather pay money where there's an ongoing community. But then in that community, you've got to find out, like, is that, for example, most of them, we're in a Facebook group with ours, and you know that ours is very active, and we love ours. So, like, before you join up, do your homework. Maybe ask for a tour of their members area and see if there's stuff going on, because a lot of them, like, that I've investigated, have like a dead members area. So again, like, a lot of the times, like, the coaches are busy, but they can, like, with 1 or 2 words, they can help you so much, but it's the people also in the community that can help you so much. So that's part of any community that you're looking for, and that's great. For me, like, I've achieved a lot, and I'm offering a sort of different coaching structure right now. I offer like an hourly rate where I'm able to hone people in and take action on one, like, really specific part of the process, which is to get maybe like their first or second product out there. And also, like, people pay me a lot for for motivation, and pay me to brainstorm. I'm really good on that side, and I can also, like, if I like the idea, built into that will be, if I like the finished product, that built into that will be some promotion, because that's my strongest field, is promotion. But Russell, I'll take a very interesting route with that, is that I charge an hourly rate. At the moment, it's about $55 an hour. It's going up, obviously, because I've now got a lot of success stories, and I've got a lot of success stories coming through. But it's quite interesting. Again, what we're saying is that I've taken, like, my model to that. A lot of people, like, have asked, can they pay for like 10 hours with me? I only actually allow people to buy 1 hour at a time, because what I know, and you've seen it we've discussed this not just online, but even on offline or wherever it is. People could pay for, like, people could pay, for example, for any sort of coaching, or even they could, like, really work hard to get a degree and then get a job and then self-sabotage themselves when it comes to the implementation. So I've seen, like, guys that I've been contacted by, and I've seen guys is that people, like, they start off very well, but they sometimes, like, taper off, and then life gets in the way, and they're going through something, and they're not maybe mentally fit enough for it. So I don't want, like, I don't want to be stuck with people that have paid me money and then, like, they just fade away, especially while I'm building up my reputation, and I've got a lot of success stories that are coming through right now. So yes, I mean, just I hope that answers that. But again,
absolutely. I'll tell you something that
in internet marketing, as well as with anything, like, on the internet as such, is that I've got a client now that is a great musician, a wonderful musician. He's in Canada, somewhere in Canada, and he wants to do some stuff online because he's actually sick of, like, just being on the road all the time. And he wants to break into the online scene. So I said to him, look, why don't you create, like, a small ebook of how to, like, string a guitar by ear, like how to tune a guitar by ear. He said, who would want that? There's hundreds out there. There's free YouTube videos about it. And he was questioning me, and I said to him, listen, it's quite like with my WSOs. And, like let's just take my latest WSO of the day, which was about Facebook retargeting. The truth is that if you had to go and spend 3 hours on YouTube and look at videos and then Google it, like you could probably find the same information there. But the truth is that I've showed some proof and some results, and B, I packaged it and I put it together. And you know that people are willing to pay for that information, and if you present it properly, it's the same thing like if you go to a convenience store. Like, just down the road from my house, where I live, you come to me often, and just down the road there's a convenience store. And if you go there at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, like I usually do, and go buy some refreshments, like a Coca-Cola there, they can charge almost double, almost even, or 1.5 times than what a supermarket, because of the convenience, and it is there. So at the same time, there are people searching online all the time for information. People come online for information all the time. And if you can package your ideas in a specific way and package and then present it to the world, there will be always people looking for your information. And also, like the way that I view internet marketing, Russell, and it's a mindset, is like it's always a moving line. So even you that's relatively new, you've only been this now for a few months, like if you can imagine that line's moving, like coming closer to the counter, you already, since you've joined, there's been like a lot of people that have joined behind you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like already what you've learned now, you put out your first WSO, now you know the system of how it works with technically, and you are also a student, and you interviewing me now, is that now you're ahead of a lot of other people. So again, like this game is like, it's like athletics, with like my running, and when the fitness level is one thing, and I'm maintaining my fitness level, but what I work harder on is my mindset in the training, because it's like at least 85% in like running is mindset. And I would say that internet marketing is like 85 to 90% mindset, because I've learned a lot and I've already taken in a lot, but it's mindset. Is not like you don't feel like doing it every day, or you have setbacks, or you have like micro minutes when you get a WSO of the day, and then that's never a moment to sit back. It's like that. Then you start on your next project, and that's how I am maintaining myself at the moment.
Yeah, that was a comment I wanted to make a bit earlier. I mean, throughout this interview, one of the common themes that comes up again and again and again is mindset. And I think that with internet marketing, one of the biggest advantages to it is that there's such a low barrier to entry and to exit, but at the same time, it could be one of the biggest disadvantages, because you've got to come to this industry with the right mindset. Otherwise, there's guys, it's a very competitive industry, and there's just guys doing the same thing that much better than you. So you've got to come there with the right etiquette, the right mindset, and I picked up on that pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, that's important, as you know, and especially is like a lot of times guys get like into internet marketing, they can even become fat, or because you're sitting, like I spend often 12 to 15 hours in my computer at a time. I mean, that's the way that we do. So and also it's like your head is in that screen, and so it's like everything in life. I mean, I've done insurance, I've done financial planning, it applies there, applies everywhere. But internet marketing, as per se, is first of all you're sitting like on your bum for hours and hours and hours, and you're in the screen. And so specifically, it's like quite lonely, and the hours are very long, and so you have to work on your mindset. And for me also, you live in South Africa, but like for me, one of my driving forces is that, like for us, there's two things. First of all, in America, in the USA, there are so many conferences almost every week. Like, I follow stuff online. You can go to Vegas, you can hop on a plane here, you can hop on a plane there. So people are quite spoiled in some ways. And I know for myself, maybe like my kids live at the coast, and they've been there for close on 3 years. So they're not excited about the ocean and the sea as they were when they arrived. And that's normal, that's natural. I think it's also the same in sort of like relationships. It's the same sort of thing. But in America, there's a lot of internet marketing conferences, and a lot of almost weekly, and people don't take advantage of that all the time. At the same time, like being in South Africa, I must be one of the few people in South Africa that deal with partners and JV partners all over the world. I earn dollars every single day, and that's really exhilarating. But at a price that it comes is that my hours are like your hours now that you come in. Also, you're doing this as well, but our hours are completely like in tune with America. So I know, like, we are 7 hours ahead of EST. So at about 7 p.m., 8 p.m., this is when the action starts. So every single morning, I basically, since July, including this morning, I go to bed between, say, 5 and 7 a.m. every single day because of the guys that I'm dealing with. And if I'm jumping on webinars, that is the time. It is pretty demanding on my body. But again, that's the mindset, because at 3, 4 in the morning, oftentimes you don't feel like doing this. You don't feel like doing it. But when I step up and I've got into the webinars, and a lot of my coaching clients can only come in on after work. So that's also often between 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning. But it's so worth it, Russell. It's so worth it. It's exciting. It's giving me a freedom to be able to really start earning dollars, and I've got a big goal to achieve, which is to move towards be closer to my kids, and to come to the USA on trips and go to conferences. So I'm booked for this big marketing mayhem that's coming out in America, which is very exciting, and I know that I'm going to get so much out of it. And then I've also, please God, I'm moving towards my kids, and that's my goal. So as you said, like, it is the mindset, 100%. The mindset is you've got to be clear what you want to achieve. So I've got a dollar amount that I want to achieve every single month. I know, like, just on me personally, and I've got I have to pay maintenance for my ex-wife, and I have to pay school fees, and then I have to pay some like medical cover, and I give my kids some pocket money, and I've got insurance, and then I've got like my cost, which is luckily my car's paid off, but I'm going to be renting a new place when I move to Cape Town. So I know exactly what my goals are. I know exactly what my monetary value is, and I know exactly. So I've got a big reason why. And I think, Russell, a big part of it, as you said, of the mindset is you've got to run this business like a business. You have to have it as a business. Yeah. Like if you have got a factory, for example, and you've got workers, well, your workers have to get paid before you get paid. If you are in production or in manufacturing, like you have to have the raw materials available. Like if you're building couches, or you're building, like you've got a plastic, if you run out of raw material, like you could lose a lot of money that day. Everyone will be sitting around, and it's just like, well, it would be a complete waste of a day, or even complete waste of a week. Now it's the same thing in our business, is that I do product creation, and I do affiliate marketing, and I do coaching. So first of all, I've got my coaching clients. I'm always bringing in new guys, working on referrals, advertising, and that's going well. I've even got a bit of a waiting list at the moment. Then I do the product creation. So I'm spending a few hours every single day on product creation and looking around the market and working with outsourcers and working on product creation. And then every single day, what I do is I do affiliate promotions, and I promote friends offers, and I do and what I've learned is that I've actually now got a special calendar, so I know what I'm launching. Like I know that there's a launch next week on Monday of a specific friend, so I'd like to send him out maybe a pre-email on Sunday. It's not, you can't wake up in the morning and think, okay, what am I going to do today, or what am I going to promote today? Because then you're not being a business person. You're just treating it like a hobby, and then it will pay like a hobby. So look, these are the things that matter in the business. And so, as you said, like it's really the mindset comes first, guys. The mindset comes first. Be whatever that is. If it's church, if it's synagogue, if it's reading, if it's exercise, and that's what I'm doing, and it has really helped me a lot. Even like what I do, I told you I take about an hour a day, and I love learning. So I actually read like a lot of fiction. Like I enjoy fiction, and I enjoy. So I would, I step away from the internet, and then I read for an hour a day, and I come back with fresh eyes. And again, like a lot of people say they don't have time for gym. Well, you've got time. If you want time for something, you'll make time for it. That's for sure. And again, that's like the mindset. And we've all got the same hours in the day, but I firmly believe that I work harder than anyone. I really actually do. I've seen one or two guys work as hard as me, but I believe that I work harder than anyone. And as I said to you, when I put my mind into something, I take it very, very, very seriously.
Right. I've seen your success on the Warrior Forum and Warrior Plus. You started July. How long did it take for you to build up this momentum? Obviously, I see your work. I know you've got a great work ethic. How long did it take you sort of to build up this momentum? And I think obviously now that you've built it up, it's gonna snowball as it goes forward.
Okay, I can answer that. I can answer that for you. Okay, so I started in July, and then in January, which was last month, I've been placed now in the top 5% of vendors on the Warrior Forum. I'm in the top 5%, and I am in the top 5% of affiliates as well. That's where it stands now. So I think that's a pretty big achievement. I mean, again, like you know me, I'm like the furthest from arrogant guy in the world. Like I'm not arrogant, and I've been brought up rarely not to be arrogant. But at the same time, I am very proud because I want to see results, and I am driven, and there's a big difference between the two. So I started off in July, and yes, I came into this program in July, and it took me about in August. So I can't remember, it was like the 1st of July, and the 25th of August, I launched my first product. So, I paid money to get into this program, and it went onto my, I had money for half, and half went onto my credit card, and then I made a deal with myself that I want to pay it like back within the first month. So it took about a month, Russell, that it took about a month, but immediately I started like what I realized right from the beginning, just, as I say, like I did very well like in the hypnosis niche, only mainly based because of like Joe Vitale and the conferences and the guys that I knew, because there are great products out there, and there's great like people that people there have got degrees and they have a wonderful product, but without the promotion, it's worthless. So
yeah.
From word go, like I just started really networking, and I started doing it in a wonderful, nice way. And yeah, so look, as I say, so if we can look at, you can say July, August, September, October, November, December, 6 months. It's 6 months it's taken me to get to where I am. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Really, I mean, I've got no greater skills. I finished high school on a very, very, very average pass rate. I did like a bit of studying afterwards, whether I didn't take seriously, and then I started working. You know that I was working in the stock exchange for 5 years, and then financial planning up until this point 6 months ago. And I still actually have got quite a big list of clients in financial planning and insurance that I get a monthly annuity on, that I still sort of manage them and keep in touch with them. But I'm not taking on new clients because now I am fully looking at the internet marketing, which I want to give 100% of my attention. So yeah, it took about a month, Russell. It took about a month, but what I learned, again, and I'm going to repeat this, which is important, is that like I got out of my comfort zone, and I started communicating with affiliates, and I started to speak to people. But again, like the most important thing, as you know, is like the etiquette involved. The etiquette, like I would approach people, but always like giving more, like offering before I could take, never asking people to promote my product until like we had some sort of relationship in place. And like there's a lot of people that are like I learned that from insurance, Russell. You've also done your stint in insurance. If you're sitting in front of a prospect and you are thinking about your commission, or you're thinking about your own payments, your car payments and your home payments, like the guy can pick it up in 1 second. But if you actually stay in the moment and you focus on them and trying to like do a good deal for them and worried about their family, like you can sell those policies, sell themselves. And it's the same thing, like really. So yeah, it took about a month to get my first product out, but it's been a daily effort to communicate, to involve people, just to get to know people as much as possible. And like really, I've like learned, and I study every single day, and I love studying. I love learning. Like Lee Murray, who's one of my favorite authors in the world on internet marketing, he's so cool. like, I've read all of his stuff. He's so prolific, and he came out with a new product today, guys, and I
Yeah,
bought it. And
I bought it.
yeah, I bought it, and like, I will read it today, and I will learn it. So it's exciting, Russell. It's taken 6 months, and it's taken 6 months of consistent work. Every single day. Besides maybe a few days, maybe 5 days in 6 months, I haven't worked. But like, I think the dream of like pressing one button or sitting on a beach, that comes much later once you've got maybe a structure where people are working for you, but not at the beginning.
Yeah, and I think that's a very big misconception. And I'm actually glad that you sort of introduced that into the interview. Is that this is not an industry, as I said earlier, there's low barriers to entry. So you can't come in here with sort of this sort of vision of grandeur. This is something that you're going to have to work at, as you say, every single day, put in the hard yards. And like any other industry out there, it will reward you if you put in the hard yards and you fostered the right relationships with the people. Because for me in the beginning, the way I see it is that I actually rely heavily on a lot of the people out there in terms of hopefully mailing out my products for me, because right now I'm in the list building stage, and I'm trying to build relationships with the guys that can help me with that, and it's quite challenging. The list building, while I'm having good fun at it, it's like any other graft out there. You've got to work hard at it.
Yeah, you have to work hard at it. I mean, but at the same time, it's that, like, there are millions of people on the internet, and there's guys that have come before you, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to learn and implement. And I think what's very important, Russell, is that in life, you go to the gym, and it's important to know your place. So if you had to like walk into the gym and you see a guy's like doing arm curls with like 30 kilograms, or he's bench pressing huge amounts, and you like hadn't never trained, and you come in and you could be upset with and almost compare yourself to that person and like be angry at yourself. But if you're consistent and you build up, you'll be able to be the best that you can be. It's the same thing even like when I run marathons and I run 42 kilometers or 21 kilometers, I will never come first, never. I mean, those are just like freaks of nature, and those are like people maybe even that like are sponsored and do it full time. But I always try to beat my best. So if I can get like a new personal best, it's a wonderful achievement. Plus, I enjoy doing it. So it's the same thing. Is like it's important to know your place, and you've seen and what you follow my route as well, and that's because we have got the same mastermind, and we know is that you've got like because you've also been in stockbroking. Like you've got, for example, the New York Stock Exchange, which is like the big blue chip market, and then you've got like the NASDAQ, which are like the emerging stocks, and then you've even got like a few over the counter at the bottom there. And like there's we've got JB Zoo that is huge and massive, and big guys that have been experienced and with massive launches and massive networks, and they go into to JB Zoo, and JB Zoo is a wonderful place to be. But we've taken a look, and you there and I'm there as well, is that we are in the Warrior Forum. The Warrior Forum is a network that's smaller than JB Zoo, and it's more for emerging people, but at the same time it's not as competitive, so it is easier to get like a Warrior Forum, a WSO, a Warrior Special Offer of the Day awarded to than to get JB Zoo. And my analogy really is that if you look, Russell, at like there's a level of the top guys in JB Zoo, and the top guys that are doing like $1 million launches or $500,000 launches. Obviously, they don't need us, and they, like bless them. They paid their dues, and they're amazing guys. But they've got their like sort of pack of people, and they're really doing tremendously well, and they're incredible. They don't need us. So what my philosophy is that like we are starting there in Warrior Forum at the bottom, getting to know your name known. You can create simple products. Like my products have been simple. Most of the WSOs that succeed are simple. Lee Murray's WSO's, whatever, 40-page PDF of great information, maybe 1 or 2 videos. It's simple. So you build up a buyers list, you build up a network, you build up a name, and then what we are hopefully going to do, and I will definitely, you can mark these words. I'm going up, I'm going to be one of the top guys, please God, eventually, within the next few years. But we're looking at this level. And we're looking I'm looking for guys to join me to be able to move up with me. So in a while's time, we'll be one of those the guys that are currently top at the JVZoo. But again, it's I think the biggest thing is there are 2 lessons there. First of all, again, is to know your place. So if you walked into that gym and you saw that happening, it would just be crazy. And as an analogy, it works perfectly. It would be crazy to even compare yourself
to yourself. Yeah.
People compare themselves. I see this guy's making money. I see this guy's making money. There's also, unfortunately, it's the same in the self-help, but these terrible words like guru. It's like these names come up like a guru, and it's people just follow every move that they make. And that being said, although it's all nice and everything, is that you should be your own guru in life. That I would like to be my own guru. Even Dr. Joe Vitale and these guys that I look up to, and I love his readings, is I read different stuff, and at the end of the day, it's my decision. Because actually, Dr. Joe Vitale is quite interesting, but he writes out openly. In his open days, he was quite vulnerable, and he actually was almost caught up in a cult, because he was met a guru and a real guru, and he got caught up, and he was lucky to escape from that. And at the same time, is that internet marketing has got a lot of that word has creeped into there, saying a guru, and a guru is it's almost you can have a coach and you can have people that help you, but at the same time you have to make up your own mind. I'll just tell you a quick story which you'll enjoy. I saw a guy here in Johannesburg the other day, and he's looking at moving from one career to another career, and he wants to go do investments for a big insurance company in Johannesburg. And as you know, there are a few big insurance companies. There's 5 big insurance companies, and he's quite a clever guy. And he's had actually offers from 3 of them, and he's going, and he actually phoned me and he said, "Can we have coffee? I want to discuss it." And I gave my opinion, and he was arguing with me when I gave him my opinion. So I said to him, "Listen, bro, your mind's already made up. You've got to go with your own decision. Plus, as your friend, because I can say this to you, showing that your self-esteem is low, that you have to go through the same conversation with everyone." Now, I'm trying to help that guy, really. He's actually a friend of mine. But it's the same thing is that if you, in internet marketing, Russell, there's a lot of different niches. And in the top-selling niches, there's video, there is traffic. These are the WSOs that will always sell well. It's video and traffic and list building and software and a few other niches. There are about 5. So you should pick one niche that is a top seller. So it's very easy to do that. You go to Warrior Forum, you can see who's been the top sellers for the last 30 days, 60 days, and it will pop out at you CPA is big at the moment, and video and X, Y, and Z. And then you can easily hop over to JVZoo and go look there again, who's been the best sellers for the last 3, 6, 9, 12 months. So you look at there, you can see which are the best sellers. And it's important, I would say, to stick with that trend. One can see that, for example, CPA is very big, and video has been big for a year and will continue to be big. So I think it's worth doing that, looking at where there's a demand. And then at the same time, once you can do that homework, and it could take you an hour to do, and then you've got your planning for the next year set out in terms of niche. Excuse me. So you don't need to go and ask 10 people's opinions, because it's actually going to confuse more and more and more. So I would say, just exactly what we're talking about is that you can make up your mind, and then you can stick to it. And then again, I think related to that, so I'm just closing Skype here. Related to that is to make up your mind and then to stick to something, because the biggest failure is a guy who's buying WSO this week on Amazon Kindle, and then he's looking at T-shirts next week, and then he's looking at trying to perfect a bit of video marketing the following week. That, you 100% are confusing yourself, and there's a very, very, very low chance of you succeeding in something. But pick something. Pick one niche and go for it, and then trust yourself. That's where mindset comes in, guys. You don't, Russell. You don't need to You don't need
Jack of
to
all
run.
trades, and I was going to say jack of all trades, master of none. You say you've got to kind of pick the right product for you and just master it.
I'll pick one thing and then like learn it and become good at it. Like I've become really good at Google Hangouts. Like I really understand it, and actually have even had like I've had a few blog post appearances. I had people have contacted me about it because I've stuck at it, and I would say that I know, not that it's a huge achievement in life, but I know Google Hangouts probably better than most people out there. And because like I've learned about it and I've studied and I've played around with it, and you can't be into t-shirts one day and Kindle the next. It's just like you're going to just confuse yourself.
Yeah. So you just got, I appreciate your time. I just want to tell you that right now, but I want to also just have something that I think is quite relevant that people will be interested in, just in terms of number of WSOs. Obviously, this is with the assumption that whatever you release is going to be of value. You don't want to release crap out into the market. But in terms of, what kind of a frequency do you look at in terms of your product releases?
Well, I came out with 8 products in 6 months. I think that you can quite easily, realistically, and that's what I'm going to be doing for my goal and for my income. Realistically, you should be able to come out with one product a month. I really don't see that being too much work. One product a month, release it, build up. What's also good is that the final step before you release a product, once you've got it ready, then you start sending it out to colleagues and friends, maybe for testimonials, because testimonials and social proof go very well on a sales page. And then you should allow yourself at least like 2 weeks then to be able to promote it, minimum 2 weeks, like pre-promotion, and tell people about it and get people involved. And again, like for me, thank God, like I've had the success and like my level of success, and I've also now been approached by a lot of people. So again, like I've got, as I mentioned earlier, I've got a guy that promoted for me, and I've reviewed his product already. He's launching on Monday. So today's Wednesday. So like even if you were like a good mate of mine and you contact me today and you say, Saul, I'm launching on Monday, I would have to tell you, unfortunately, I can't help you that day. I'm booked on that day because I've already given my word to this guy that I'm promoting for him. Right. So you've got to be respectful of people. So you should like once your product is ready or 99% ready, then you should go to Munchai, which is the calendar, and you should go look at a date, make sure that there are no like major premium launches on that day, and then book a day maybe 3 weeks in out, and then start contacting people and telling them about it, and then people can at least like put it into their calendar. Russell, you must understand is that every single day for me is that like I have to make money every day in order to be able to achieve my monthly goals. And so I know it's like I'll only mail something that suits my list and that people will buy and that I know is going to convert, because if it's a shit sales letter and a great product, I'm not going to mail, because then I know that they're not going to be sales unless it's a very good friend. And if I don't like a product, I certainly won't mail. That being said, is like, yes, you can do like I've got like basically 3 products in the works that will be coming up for launch now within the next 3 months. But at the same time, like I'm keep on promoting for people, and I keep on being in touch with people. And if you go look on Munchai, they are already listed there. It gives me a good solid date that I know where I'm launching. And at the same time is that you got to get like my last 2 WSOs of the day is that we gave the big win, and the big key there was that I gave each one 3 weeks, and I worked on it very, very hard for 3 weeks. Like I was also drumming up stuff on Facebook, and I was in contact with people, and I was doing as much as I could for people within those 3 weeks, and remind them of my launch for 3 weeks. So that is the most important part, is that like pre-promotion. So like it's the product obviously important, and but I really don't think that's so difficult, because if you sit on your arse and you do your research or you're showing proof of what you've done, or you document some of your successes into a PDF, that could take maybe a week. maximum, like wash, not even a week. I mean, less than a week, and then you you package it, and then you have to start doing the pre-promotion because that's the most important thing. And then the daily tasks to do. Like I've got my own blog, I've got my own website. I do interviews, I write articles, I do email promotions, I do video promotions, and yeah. So look, it's going to be enough to keep you busy. But don't ever forget that last final stage is that to involve people in your launches and to maybe like what I've been doing now is I've even been testing it on some cold traffic, like split testing. You can like have like for my copywriter that I use, I paid him like another 50% of the cost, and then I actually asked him to write me a second sales page, and I've like been testing the 2 sales pages, and then I also learn a lot about copywriting. I'm a lifelong student of copywriting because I'm like really excited about copywriting. So I buy products on copywriting. Like one of the guys that I follow is Matt Basak, and he released a really nice product on like proven headlines. And like I test out different headlines, and I study, and I like to learn about copywriting. Is like very important for me. Like I understand graphics, and I've got a really great eye, but I've got a guy that I've introduced you to now that you're using on Fiverr. Let him, like for me personally, I don't want to learn Photoshop, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather pay this guy who I find that I use for $10. Copywriting, I've got a copywriter that writes my sales letters, but at the same time, I understand copywriting, and I have briefed him on the job, and then I will always like make sure that it's congruent with what I'm looking for. So I think like the biggest skill that you can learn is in internet marketing is like mindset and copywriting. And it's interesting, it's like, you wouldn't believe it, but with all the research and all the guys that I have spoken to, WSOs, what are special offers on product creation, like a product that shows you about product creation, have never like won WSO of the day, and they don't do particularly well. And that's actually ironic because people should want to know about that. But people are looking more for like, like I saw a WSO that wasn't a Bible on this building. That didn't win the WSO of the day, but this guy had a really cool method to show of how he adds 50 people to his list every day, and that won WSO of the day because that makes a lot more sense. So, like if you don't need to do a product on the Bible of list building, but if you can show me proof in one way that you are adding 50 people a day to your list, I would buy it like this, and I'd love to buy that, and I'd love to implement it and test it. But if you're showing me like 50 different ways to get traffic, like, I'm not really that interested in that. That is almost too general and usually won't sell too well. So, just to answer your question again, I've been just sharing some advice today. I hope you don't mind. But yeah, look, you've got to be active. It's like for me, I got WSO of the day last week. It was last week, right? I put it already behind me. Great win. It's nice to have that achievement. I'm proud. Awesome. Like I'm moving on to my next product. And it's like sales, Russell, like when you made a sale, like saying insurance, or you sold something intangible, what a wonderful feeling. That's like the time to like go maybe say make a few phone calls or go reach out to 1 or 2 existing clients because you're feeling so great. But what's like often happens, like people sometimes hit a slump after they hit that big sale or they get a WSO of the day. But I'm using like this great energy that I've got now to like get stuck into my next project.
Nice, boy. Is there any sort of final advice you want to give to any newbies that are coming in? I think we've covered quite a lot of ground. Any parting words?
Guys, my final advice has been, will be, thank you first to Russell for taking this advantage of speaking to me. And I wish you all the best of luck, Russell, and I know that you're going to do well. Guys, also whoever's listening to this, just remember these words. Like Marlon Sanders is one of my big mentors, and he's really great. And he's been through the ups and downs, and has been more around than anyone else's. And he's given me quite a few pieces of advice that I'll hand over to you quickly. First of all, don't make enemies. So you are like already with me in the little bit of success that I have had, and it's been relatively fast. I've got like some people that are now not, I wouldn't say enemies, but people are starting a bit of shit once in a while, like saying bad words or commenting on, or just being like sort of trollish. And I think that's because they're jealous. That's what Marlon said. So, don't make enemies, and just as long as I'm strong and I let that like bounce off me, like I really don't have to worry about that. So that's first, is not to make any enemies. Second of all, is to like, is just always remember about etiquette and remember about being nice. It's like, even if you go to like a supermarket and you can smile at someone, or like maybe they won't smile back or whatever, but it's the same thing in our business even more, because in like most of our networking goes on in Facebook, and just because of the level where I am at now, people like, often people are trying to like approach me to promote for them, and I will consider it if it's done in the correct way. If it's done like ramming down my throat or being rude, I usually don't look at that. And Russell, one bit of advice is that, say for example with the Warrior Forum, right, you have to apply to be an affiliate. Where I was doing all my sales actually of my hypnosis products on ClickBank. One of the big problems about ClickBank is that you can go in and promote any products. You can send the worst traffic there, and it's like really not a good setup. And where JB Zoo and Warrior Forum is much better is that you actually have to apply to be an affiliate, okay? So when you're applying to be affiliate for the first time as a newbie, guys, listen to this. And I'm telling you now from a vendor's point of view. First of all, during my launch, during the first few days, if you are a new affiliate, there's a good chance that you're not going to be accepted. Why? Because the launch, within those first few days, we're looking at keeping the EPCs, the earnings per click, and the numbers high. And that's fine because, as your numbers build up, you would be able to, and if you have a relationship with that guy, you'll be able to be involved in that. But when you're applying for an affiliate link, like leave a little note. There's a room there for a note, and if you can leave a note and say, hi, like I would love to promote your product. I would be even happy to be on delayed commission. Please give me a chance, or I'm planning on promoting you like this, and just leave a little note and be courteous, and then you got a much higher chance. And again, it's like your reputation and what you do now is going to count for many, many years to come. So when people like apply for my products, first of all, I look if I recognize the name. Second of all, in the Warrior Forum, you can see the guys' people's statistics. So if it's brand new, it says brand new. And it also shows you their sales figures. So it shows you how many sales they've done on the Warrior Forum, okay? And then it shows conversions and refunds. So first of all, you can see how many sales a guy's done in the range, so you know that's a person that's sold a bit or whatever, or hasn't sold a bit. And you see conversions of how their traffic's converted. So if they've sent 100 clicks and 10 as people have bought whatever, that's 10% conversion, and then they show refunds. A lot of people may be able to get sales, but they got high refunds. So Russell, listen to this, dude. First of all, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to be accepted as a brand new person if you don't know the person during the launch. But that's fine. Still apply. Leave a note and say, please, when you're ready, accept me as an affiliate. I would love to promote your product, and I'm planning on promoting in this way and this way. Without a note, you've got a lot less chance. And again, is that if you have got your sales figures, if you send bad traffic or you're just spamming, then that's going to I will accept a brand new affiliate with no sales. I'll put him onto delayed commission. Definitely I will. He's not going on to instant commission because it's brand new and he must prove himself. But if I see a guy and he's got 1,000 sales and he's got 2% conversions and 10% refunds, I will actually deny that guy because I don't want refunds coming in. It could be that he's sending bad traffic there. So, Russell, to sum it up really, guys, is that, they're great. There's great courses out there. Buy the ones that look good, and don't buy shiny objects. Stay away from shiny objects. You need a good autoresponder. If you want to know which one I use, I'll tell you straight. I use GetResponse. Are they good? Or are they bad? Are they better than any others? I don't know. That's the one I use. That's the one I like. Then you need, you've got an autoresponder. Then you need to get one WordPress builder site so you can put up your squeeze pages and that. And then buy information products that are like Lee Murray's that are $3. Like he had the one from the top, which was $5. It was a complete life changer for me, and I loved it. And then, become friends with people, get into groups, pay to join a coaching program when you can afford to, or find an intermediary coach like myself that can help you get to that bigger learning program. And remain positive, and stick to one thing, guys. Internet marketing is very exciting. There's so much money to be made. It's a huge pie. If you get 1%, it's really, 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 really awesome. But it requires hard work, and it requires mindset, and it requires etiquette, and it requires all the other good things that any business requires. So that's my advice, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, Russell, thank you for taking this opportunity to reach out to me. It's my pleasure to help you. You're a newbie, and but you're already less of a newbie than people that joined this week, and there were thousands of people that joined this week, and you've already come out with your first product, and I know that you are an action taker. And the biggest, I'll just leave on this note, guys. If someone asks you what is your website address, the most embarrassing thing you can say is my website is under construction. I can't show you anything. Rather just put up something and then improve it over time. And it's the same thing. The most shocking thing is authors that have books that are unfinished over years, and just put out your products, and they don't need to be 100%, but push it. Pull 3 all-nighters in a row and get it up, because then you've got something to show for it. And broken dreams come from when people have got a product in the works, and that's probably because it's too complicated, and when it's too big, there's probably a good chance it's not going to sell anyway. So just break it up into a few smaller products, and take action and do it, and step away from your computer and go do some exercise, and then come back with fresh eyes. Okay, Russ?
Legendary. Saul, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. Really, really appreciate it. I have learned a lot. Been fantastic spending the last hour or so with you. And good luck going forward from strength to strength, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Guys, we'll speak to you soon. Russell, well done. And just all the best of luck to everyone. And I'll just say, if you want to get in touch with me, find me on Facebook. You can add me as a friend, but make sure that you leave a message, because I'm getting a lot of random people adding me these days, and you have a better chance of being my friend if you're not random. And Russell, I'm sure they can get hold of you as well on Facebook, and you're very approachable too, right?
Get hold of me on Facebook, absolutely. And email is russ.shaw@gmail.com if anybody wants to email me, but no spam.
Okay, awesome. Russ, I've got to run. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, man.
Cheers.